Well, what an innings this has been from, of course, Dinesh Karthik, because they needed those 20-25 runs more. And he was the guy who ended up scoring for them. Hello and a warm welcome, everybody. It's Kolkata up against Hyderabad. And what a good score this is from Kolkata. But because let me tell you one thing, there are a lot of things to actually look at. Shubman Gill and Rahul Tripathi started really well. And then, of course, Nitish Rana. You needed that innings and you have done it for your team. Andre Russell couldn't fire today. But at the end of it, it was all about the former captain and current captain, Eoin Morgan and Dinesh Karthik, who eventually helped the score to look 163 for 5 in the coda of 20 overs. I have been joined in with Yuvraj Dua to actually discuss all of it as how the innings panned out for Kolkata. Hi Yuvraj.
Hi Vedant, I think it's a really good finish. At one point, it was looking like they would lag behind and they won't be able to get to a defendable total. But I think it's more than a defendable total. 163. I was a bit perplexed why Hyderabad did not win the toss and bat first, but now it was made more clear they had more trust in their bowling and they bowled well. I think uh, it's become more neutral now. It was earlier looking that Hyderabad are getting the top hand in this game, but again it's gone to a neutral side and a good finish, a really good finish. Owen Morgan needed to strike some lusty blows in the last over, which he did. And Dinesh Karthik, I think this role fits him perfectly, and he shouldn't stray from this path now. He should stop shuffling around with the order. He's shuffling himself around the order and just focus on finishing the innings as a batsman. And that's what he's been doing so well so far in this tournament. We've seen it a couple of times and we saw it today as well. A good cameo from him in the end. They needed Dinesh Karthik to step up at the end of the innings. That's what he did. I think really good to watch that Dinesh Karthik is finding his feet. Now he needs to stick to it.
Absolutely, Dinesh Karthik needs to stick on to it. Team is believing in his services, and Dinesh Karthik is meant to finish games on a high. That's exactly what we expect from him. 29 or 14 deliveries, two boundaries, and two massive sixes at a strike rate of 207.14. That's Dinesh Karthik for you. That's where you belong, and that is where I think Kolkata would be very, very satisfied that he has finally returned to some form. We will talk about Dinesh Karthik, but how about we talk about somebody like Andre Russell? What is going wrong for him? 9 of 10 deliveries. We expected so much from him, but nothing of that sort actually happened.
Yeah, it's not looking good at the moment for Andre Russell. He's been delivering with the ball in hand, but with the bat in hand, it's almost been a lull in all matches. I think the dismissals from previous games is again playing on his mind, and it's again and again hitting him on the back. He's got out so many times. He's just not finding the ways to get out of this trap. He is in a trap at the moment in while batting, because we've always been saying that he needs time at the crease to flourish, and this time he has got that time. Fourth time today he came out to bat inside the 15th over, before 15 overs, and he got out again really early. Another single digit score. He's hitting the ball well. It's not like he's not timing the ball well. He seems to be in decent form with the bat, but he's just finding ways to get out. He's just hitting it straight to the fielders, and mostly he's got out like this only. Hold out in the in at the boundary, and sometimes the short ball has got him out, and it's not been good so far. He needs to do something about it. Maybe he just needs to come back to that finishing role itself. Come to bat in the 16th, 18th over only when he doesn't have much on his mind. The earlier he comes to bat, the more things he'll have piled up on his mind, the more he'll think about it. If he comes to bat in the 17th, 18th over, maybe once or twice, he won't have much to think about, because straight away he'll have to go after the bowling. Here he has to take time, is to get settled in, he has to set his eye in. That's why he has a lot to think about. I think he should eliminate those thoughts in the coming games.
Absolutely, review Raj, because in 2019 season he was the most valuable player, and I think those thoughts are going around his head because he has not been able to flourish in this years of Indian T20 League, of course. Anyway, let's look at the scorecard one, how exactly it panned out. So Kolkata batted first, and they ended up scoring 163 runs in their quota of 20 overs. Of course, Shubman Gill and Rahul Tripathi started off the innings. 36 of 37 deliveries for Shubman Gill. I think he consumed a lot many deliveries, but those classical five boundaries were a difference in this side. Priyam Garg ended up taking a brilliant catch, and I think it belongs to him than Rashid Khan. Super wicket. And then, of course, Rahul Tripathi was able to give a good start to Kolkata. 23 of 16 deliveries, two boundaries, and one good six. Nitish Rana finally returned to form because team was showing so much confidence in him. 29 of 20 deliveries, three boundaries, and a six. And I think Nitish Rana did really well for himself. I think again this wicket rather belongs to Priyam Garg. What a catch that was! I think game changer catch because I think Kolkata is 10 runs short even after scoring 163 runs. Andre Russell came out to bat ahead of Eoin Morgan and of course Dinesh Karthik. Andre Russell took a lot many deliveries, 11 deliveries, and ended up scoring just 9 runs, one boundary, but not the score you expect from somebody like Andre Russell. Eoin Morgan, 34 of 23 deliveries, 3 boundaries, and 1 6. But I think the star of the show was Dinesh Karthik, scored just 29, but those classical 29 runs, just 14 balls he consumed, two boundaries and two massive sixes at a strike rate of 207.14. That's Dinesh Karthik for you. We talk about him so much that he is the finisher for you in the side Kolkata, and he has finally delivered. He scored a good half century ahead in the tournament, and now he has done it again. So I think it's a very, very good sign for Kolkata. When you look at the bowling card, Sandeep Sharma and Basil Thampi started off the innings. I think Sandeep Sharma did well because he ended up giving just 27 runs. But I think it's a day to forget for Basil Thampi because he bowled well. But unfortunately, Rashid Khan dropped Shubman Gill, and that's the reason. If you look at his bowling card, it's not that impressive in nature. 4 overs, 46 for 1. Natarajan was once again good. However, he gave away 40 runs, but picked two important wickets of course, Rahul Tripathi and Andre Russell. Vijay Shankar did really very well. I think Yuvraj, we will speak about him. 4 overs, 20 for 1, and of course, Rashid Khan, good as ever. 4 overs, 28 for 1. How about we talk about somebody like Vijay Shankar? How good was he?
I think the team needed him to step up, maybe with not with the ball in hand, but he did today. David Warner went towards him, and once he started bowling well, once he started getting into his stride, he continued with him for 4 overs. He was taking pace off the ball really well, and he was also digging it in short. Shubman Gill struggled against him because he had no pace to work with. He bowled really intelligently today because he knows that Shubman Gill likes the ball coming onto the bat, and he'd rather have pace on the bat than generate pace. So that's what he did well against Shubman Gill today, and even against whoever he bowled. Nitish Rana also similar. He bowled it away from him, away from his arc, so that they have to reach out to him. He never bowled in the arc, never bowled in the slot. That's what he did really well today. Now it was visible. The experience was visible. The experience of so many years of domestic cricket, some months of international cricket, they were all visible in one spell. He knew where to bowl, how to bowl, what pace to bowl, most importantly. And it was really good to watch the way he conducted himself today.
I think superbly said, Yuvraj. And now let's move on to our next segment. That is, of course, best tweets of first innings. The first one is coming from Prashant. He says impressive bowling by Vijay Shankar. 4 overs, 20 for 1. Warner is clearly having some plans. Every time he uses part timers as the fifth bowler, he tries to complete that quota inside 7 to 13 overs. It worked quite well today. I think I totally impressed with this tweet, Prashant, to start things off because that is a great analysis of consuming a bowler who is a fifth bowler for you in 7 to 13. I think that shows that you are watching the game very, very closely. And I think it is a very, very good call. And I think we need to give it to David Warner because he did all the good stuff to utilize his bowlers properly, which eventually helps to restrict a side like Kolkata at least 10 runs short, if not more.
Definitely, I think he got it spot on there. Very, very immaculate observation there. We're watching very closely. I think this guy, but I think yes, he's made effective use of his part timers. Once he knew that Vijay Shankar is going well, he's got the pace of the pitch. Then he kept going with him and bowled him for 4 overs, and it was a really good decision, I think.
Absolutely. And now let's look on to the next tweet. That is, of course, by the Bang guy at the rate Sarkar speaking. All right. So he says this is the difference between Nitish Rana or Shubman Gill as compared to someone like Surya Kumar Yadav. The former two batters give good start but are unable to carry on like Sky. Sky is Surya Kumar Yadav to the people who
Okay.
have been able to understand. Anyway, coming back to it, Yuvraj, it is also a very good analysis because we have seen that Shubman Gill is consuming a lot many deliveries. Even today, he ended up consuming 37 deliveries, scored 36 runs. On the other hand, Nitish Rana needed to score big. Now, you are coming into this game after very, very bad runs you have scored, even in single digits, 13, 14 runs as well. Then when you have got a start, when you have scored 29 of 20 deliveries, that was the time to actually continue and probably help, as I have been saying in this live for quite some time now, help your side to probably score that 170, 175. And that's where I think Nitish Rana and Shubman Gill need to learn.
Yeah, Shubman Gill definitely needs to work on his strike rate. It's going lower and lower as the tournament is progressing. He might be able to provide a good start to Kolkata, but he needs to carry on. He needs to bat like a power player after the power play, which he's not been doing. You just can't feed on those singles and sometimes dots also. It'll keep building pressure on you. That's what happens because as the pressure keeps building, there are more chances of getting out. That's what is exactly happening with Shubman Gill. He lets the pressure build onto himself, then he throws his wicket away. He didn't throw his wicket away, but gets out because he feels the pressure to go over the circle. Then Nitish Rana, I think he was going well, but again unlucky that it was more. It was the brilliance of Vijay Shankar and again Priyam Garg, the way they kept the ball away from the batsman and took the pace of the ball. Priyam Garg taking a good catch. I would have liked Nitish Rana to contribute to a winning cause. That's what these players need to get back into form. Contribute to a winning cause, even if it's a short innings. But today they're required to carry on. It was required for them to carry on, but they again failed, and another problem cropping up.
Absolutely, I totally agree to it. Now let's move on to Hyderabad. Let's talk and let's look at their playing 11 once. David Warner, Johnny West at the start of it, and then they have Manish Pandey and Kane Williamson. So if they want to chase this down, 163 runs, I think top four need to perform because though Priyam Garg and Vijay Shankar are having a great day, Priyam Garg has already taken two brilliant catches, and of course Vijay Shankar has bowled good 4 overs. Even then, it will be all about David Warner, Johnny Bairstow, Manish Pandey, and Kane Williamson. And then their bowling actually starts. Abdul Samad. They would not want that Abdul Samad needs to go out there and score some runs. They would want that all five or six of them end up scoring. Yuvraj, David Warner, and
It's nil
Kane
nil.
Williamson. All right, there seems to be a change. There seems to be a change. Now, Kane Williamson is opening along with David Warner. That means Johnny Besto.
Along with Johnny Bairstow is opening. David Warner will come down the order.
All right, so, all right. Yes, it's Johnny Besto and Kane Williamson. So, David Warner. I have never seen David Warner coming in the middle order. Have you?
Um,
For the last time he's opened.
I think it's because of the score on the board. Kane Williamson can be more effectively used at the top of the order here because he can also play at a good pace. He can play at a good strike rate, and he can afford to play his natural game because it's just 160 odd on the board. I don't mind this decision, but again, David Warner coming down. two thoughts about it.
What do you think is coming? Because if you are sacrificing even Manish Pandey's position at number 3, or you are utilizing somebody like David Warner at number 4, then I really don't know. Either it's an injury or it's a niggle that he wants to wait, or if it's not a niggle, then I don't think it's the best of decisions. Anyway, let's look as what happens. David Warner will be coming in the middle order, and of course, it's Johnny Bairstow and Kane Williamson who are opening the innings for Hyderabad. They need 164 runs to register their fifth win in the tournament. Fifth or fourth? Fourth win in the tournament. Yeah, fourth win in the tournament. It will be interesting to see if they are able to do that or not. Straight to the live action. We will see you in the 6:40 show.